How cool is this tool? This tool puts on these keys, was kind of buckled in right there, put a bunch of keys on it. I just kind of have this broken chunk of pry rod. I'm just trying to get that to go straight. I think we're there. So you put the keys on, you put that rod in there, you put this bridge on, and you pull it out. So this is from H&S. You can see right there. There's the bridge. Literally tightening this up, which is pulling the claw that way. And then you have these protective feet to not put any more damage in the panel. As you tighten it, you just start pulling that out to match what the rod's doing. So if you have like a long straight line, you could get a 4-foot bridge. You could pull a whole body line out perfectly straight every time. Pretty cool tool. Comparative sake, there's the fender, that's good. Crawl over here. And you look at that and you go, that's pretty good. I think we need a little bit more. But the cool thing about this, the old school ways you weld a tab on there, like it's just a piece of sheet metal, and then you clamp on that and pull. This does way less damage or potential damage to that panel when you're using these keys, because it's just a little tiny spot weld. And just a matter of wiggling these off. Look at that. No damage, nothing behind. And you got a perfectly straight body line there. I tucked them all along here. The idea with fixing panels, first thing you want to do is panel dimensions, so essentially getting your shape of the panel back. And that's why we put these keys right there. Get those panel dimensions where we need them. And we're not afraid of reusing these keys. Focus. See that one looks a little worn, but the other ones look pretty good. The other one that's worn out, you can always just tune up that tip and make it work. Not easy. Way better than welding on a tab. Look at that. I love it. I love it. And this is like heavy steel, like old school 1960s steel, and it pulled that out with ease. That edge and that body line came out exactly where I needed. You can see my 2 marks that I had here. My dent was kind of an inch or so in, and I was thinking, you know what, if I have to go all the way, I'll go all the way, but I only had to go in the middle and it was all good. Now this tool is really awesome. So when you get the dual spotter Deluxe, not only can you do the keys with that attachment, it comes with the ground, there's also the attachment to do copper pins, the old school copper pins like that, but it also has the panel beater, so if you have a dent, you can put it on, and then you can pry with that foot and start pulling metal out. But not only can you do steel, you have these 2 grounds. You take these 2 grounds, and then you can start doing aluminum, get the right attachments. You can start putting these studs on, and then you put those keys on, that thread on, and with the aluminum, say it's aluminum panel, do the exact same thing as steel as you can with aluminum. It's really cool stuff. Like if you need to do aluminum, you have that bridge, you have to heat up the aluminum to make sure it wants to move, and then you can be hands off and pulling dents with ease. Literally as easy as taking that wrench, you unthread that, pop that off, slide this bad boy in. You're gonna still need this ground, but once you put contact in, it kind of springs back so that you can put the ground to it. We tighten that up and you're ready to rock. So I've got the panel beater attachment on, got that ground up. There's a brace running right through here, literally 0 access. But just a matter of putting that end on, get the ground. Why didn't that work? Must have a bad ground. Okay, and then it's just a matter of twist it off. You can see, a little hard to do one-handed, starting to pull that metal out where I need it. So I'm gonna do a couple more spots, get that flat in no time. So you got a dent and you wanna know where the lows are. Grind one way, and then holding it flat. Grind the other way, and you'll see the color, I guess, or the scratches will start showing the light differently, and it'd be easier to spot the lows. And there you go. Could use a little bit more fine tuning right there when you hold that straight edge up. It's pretty ice cream. Looks good. So to clean it up, I'm grabbing a file. Still got that tool. This is the file of truth, tells no lies. You can see there's that one spot I was talking about. It's pretty flat through it there. Right up here, it's a little bit low, so I'm gonna pull it right here. Right there, that one area is a little work hardened. I'm gonna pull a little bit up there. Pick and file until she's ice cream, even more ice cream. One last check before I say send it. Feels good. The dent is gone. You can see very slight lows. I don't think I'm going to worry about that. I think that filler is going to go on it anyways, but I think primer alone, some high build primer would solve that in an instant. But with these restorations, you do give the whole panel a light skim and you block, and that's how you get every panel perfectly flat. You do kind of end up mudding this thing end to end. Just a very light skim coat, and you're kind of just shaping the panels flat the way you want it to be. Now, collision versus restoration, two different worlds. I spent about 20 minutes fixing that little dent. Collision side of things, I pop it out, I get it within the allowed tolerances of body filler, which is 1/8 of an inch. I always strive for a 1/16 of an inch. But for something like this, I strive for get it in primer, maybe a light skim of filler, that's it. But in the collision side of things, this is like a 5-minute dent. Yeah, you can see where that white light gets a little fat. That's a slight little low. If the light was to get like pinched off and get narrower, that'd be a high, but that's so subtle. I know if I had a hammer and dolly, I could get back in there, I could shape the metal and pick and file that way, and I could get that thing absolutely dialed in without needing to put any type of panel beater or any kind of heat, I guess, to it. So the old school way of hammer and dollying, pick and filing is still gonna be the best, just for like corrosion protection standpoint. You're not burning off factory E-coat on the back panel. That is the best play, but sometimes you have no access and you got to start using some tools. Prime example is this. I got no tools to get in there, so I used the copper studs to yank that out, because there's already 2 holes in there. Actually, I used a little bit of a screw. But then there's this bit, is all kind of caved in. So I kind of just got in here and I roughed it out with a pry bar. But once the fender comes off, then I'll be able to get in the backside and hammer and dolly. But like, I'm already 3/4 of the way there. So getting it roughed out while it's here, might as well. But first I gotta get this ugly gone, which is one of those panels to go in right there. And yeah, I think I need the door on, but we gotta do door skin. So it's kind of a weird thing where we gotta do the quarter and you fit your panels up to the fixed panel because the door is adjustable. So we need to get the quarter done, get the door done, and then we can start monkeying around with this patch because we need to make sure that this fits along the door. The other side, we're not touching the door, so we can start going on that one. Same issue on this side. That must be a common area for these cars to rust out. Interesting. Now this fender, a couple of dents there, that was folded in. This is fine. Dent right there. There's a soft dent right here. Somebody's already been in here. Dent right there. Delete that hole. This, I believe all of these dents, I can easily access them with the fender off. So I can go old school hammer and dolly. And I can pull all of this metal up and out of the way without having to put any sort of stud pullers or panel beaters on it.